Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome you to the first school board meeting of 2024. How about that? And please note that all board members and the superintendent are present. And I'd like to at this time call the meeting to order. And if we would, join me in a moment of silence as we begin our meeting tonight. Thank you very much. If you're able, would you stand and take the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. You may be seated. Item C on our agenda is to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hart seconded. All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. Thank you very much. The agenda is adopted. Item 2 is communications, and the first thing is recognitions, and you want to explain about?
Sure. So tonight we'll start with the Garrard County Schools Danville Office Equipment Staff Member of the Month, and we'll go for there and we'll give you an explanation in just a few seconds. So this month's Staff Member of the Month is Bridget Moss from Garrard County High School. Mrs. Moss is a team player. She can do everything in the office from taking attendance to giving out medicine. She always has a smile on her face, never complains, and is always willing to step in and help. Thank you for taking care of your coworkers. One of her coworkers said that Mrs. Moss always checks on her physically, mentally, and emotionally. Another indicated Mrs. Moss keeps the office on their toes with her practical jokes. She always loves to build relationships with students and takes the time to assist students who are struggling. She has the heart of a servant, and the students enjoy being with her. Last year, 3 young men adopted her as a mom. One of the students said that Mrs. Moss tells us the truth and makes us behave. A second one said that Mrs. Moss always has the best snacks. And the third said that Mrs. Moss is very helpful. GCHS is a much better place with Mrs. Moss in the building. Thank you for all you do. Congratulations. Our next recognition is the Garrard County Schools Whitaker Bank Teacher of the Month. And the Teacher of the Month this month is Ashley Meadows. Ms. Meadows is a dedicated, motivated GCHS Golden Lion. She took on the responsibility of leading the English department and has worked hard to continue the systems that she's been an integral part of developing. She also coaches the boys tennis team. She loves our student body, and she pours her heart and mind into helping them not only become better students, but better citizens. One of her students said that Mrs. Moss is funny and always makes us laugh. A second student shared that Mrs. Meadows is very competitive and hates to lose at anything. One of her colleagues shared that Ms. Meadows always takes time to assist us with problems that we have. And a second teacher said she loves teaching and her students. Thank you, Ms. Meadows, for serving our students with love and compassion. Normally, we go on to have recognition of our Students of the Month, but due to the weather today, we asked them not to come. We'll catch them up in February. There is an additional recognition. If I could get the board members to all move over to the backdrop real quickly, I would appreciate that. For those of you who don't know, January is Board Appreciation Month. And we were fortunate enough this year to have both the city and the county do proclamations for our board members. So I'd like to share those with you. Unfortunately, we have Mayor Michael Gaffney here today to present the proclamation from the city, and Chris Davis is filling in for Judge Executive Elliman, and he's going to present from the county. So they'll both be there at the same time. This is a proclamation honoring the members of the Garrard County Board of Education during School Board Recognition Month, January 2024. Whereas our community values a quality education as a vital step along the pathway to success for our children, and whereas Dr. Jerry Browning, Mr. Kenneth Hurt, Dr. Connie Lamb, Ms. Mary Davis, and Mr. Ethan Smith contribute greatly to this community through their service on the Garrard County Board of Education. And whereas these decision makers are responsible for maintaining strong, effective budgetary oversight, high standards for employment, and a safe, well-managed set of school facilities. And whereas these board members are serving our community with integrity, honor, and a commitment to our children's future. And whereas January 2024 marks Kentucky's observation of their contributions through School Board Recognition Month, therefore, I, Michael Gaffney, Mayor of the City of Lancaster, and Chris Elliman, Garrard County Judge Executive, do hereby proclaim the month of January 2024 throughout this community as School Board Recognition Month, and urge all citizens to honor Dr. Jerry Browning, Mr. Kenneth Hurt, Dr. Connie Lamb, Ms. Mary Davis, and Mr. Ethan Smith for their service. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We want to thank both the city and the county for taking time to recognize our board members.
Now we know what that additional recognition was. Thank you all.
It didn't take anything, did it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's different being on the receiving end. Item B is site-based decision-making minutes. I hope my fellow board members have had an opportunity to look over those. Item C is audience comments. I don't believe we have any audience. Does any school board member have anything they'd like to say? Now we'll move on to E and the superintendent, Dr. Stoll.
So we've attached the goals update that I have for this month. If you take a quick look at it, you'll see that the references that we're making this month is around the area of our new teachers and the new teacher academy that we have in place. Once upon a time, the state did a process called KTIP. And once that went away, we knew we still needed to do some things to support our teachers. So as you read through that, you'll be able to see that there are monthly sessions with all of our new teachers, and there are district level walkthroughs and learning walks on a monthly basis to provide feedback to them. We want to make sure that when a teacher steps into the role, that they're supported as much as possible. And we appreciate you all allowing us to do that in that manner. This document is linked. You all have a copy of it, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thanks, sir. Anybody have any questions? All right. Construction update?
We'll jump into the construction update, and we're gonna give you a quick overview from last Thursday, I believe, of the work that was underway.
Before the snow. Yeah,
Pre-snow.
pre-snow day. If you look at the TV behind you there or on your screen, you can see we've done just a quick little video of starting at the main entrance and just kind of doing an overview of the site as itself. Our construction this month, of course, the month of January, we're working in the winter, so bear with us, but we finished all the underground electric for the building C, which is the concession and visitor locker room, and we have been able to prep and get that slab poured. We've started the CMU masonry walls on building B, which is the home locker room and the restrooms. We have continued with the CMU masonry on building K, which is the storage building between the baseball and the softball fields. We have completed the CMU masonry structures on both buildings F and J, and those are the visitor dugouts for the baseball and the softball field. We excavated the baseball and softball field backstop foundations. If you've seen those there, or you've noticed them, they're quite a lengthy excavation that will carry all of the structure for the backstop netting for both fields. We have completed 23 of the geothermal wells. This week's been, the weather has hampered the production of that, but up until this week, we have 23 of them. And we have gotten started, and they're actually gotten a really good start on the home grandstands. If you've been by and seen those, that contractor that's providing and installing those are out of New York, so this snow didn't really slow them down very much. This was light to them. We've started adding, as some of the photos are in the video, you can see we've started adding some of the topsoil into the outfield of the baseball field earlier in the month when the weather allowed. And then we've continued to work on the HVAC and the electrical rough ends inside the existing field house building when weather was less than pleasant for them out there. So any questions, any concerns, any? Nothing?
I just mentioned that coming by and snow flying, everything, we're seeing workers out in the stands actually working. So, you know, I really appreciate their effort in what we think's tough weather. Maybe New Yorker doesn't. So it's cold.
It is, and what you couldn't see from coming by is on the north end of that grandstand where building B that I referenced, the home locker room and restrooms. The mason has tinted that area yesterday so that and they've been there working today. So they put in extra efforts to put in plastic tinting so they keep it heated. Now, the temperatures that we've been experiencing earlier this week, when it's down into the single digits, even the tinting won't be able to allow them to proceed. But now that we're starting to pick back up, and our forecast temperature-wise next week is starting to look a lot better. We've got some rain in there, but we're trying to work with that. So, but yes, I will agree with your comment. We've got contractors that are on site and trying to advance the project as much as they can during these conditions, and we greatly appreciate that.
Are we still on schedule?
So far, we're still on schedule. Let's just hope that we've gotten maybe the worst part of our winter behind us, and it'll turn mild from here. I always hope for mild winters. If it was left up to me, we would be 65 degrees year round, and probably no rain. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, personnel changes, you want to address that?
Just the fact that we linked those so that anybody who would like to see who we have had leave us or who we have hired is available to anybody's review.
Item 3 is reports, and each board member has had an opportunity to look over the treasurer's report or even meet with our treasurer. Bills is presented also.
You all receive those on a weekly basis, but then we combine all of those for your board meetings so that you have those available. And again, the community can take a look and see what you all are approving on a regular basis.
All right, thank you, sir. Item 4 is the consent agenda, and unless any board member has seen something you want to pull out of the consent agenda, it's not very lengthy. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as it is printed.
So moved.
Mr. Hurt made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Davis seconded. Any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All board members were in favor. The consent agenda is approved, which brings us to the action agenda. And item A.
First item every month is the approval of pay applications for the high school athletic facilities and fields. You have listed in front of you each of those pay applications, each of the companies' due amounts, and the contractor, our construction management team, what's due to them. I would recommend that you approve these pay applications for the GCHS project.
All right, you've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the pay application.
Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Smith seconded. Any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. Item A is approved. Item B is to approve change order for high school project fire hydrant extension.
We're adding an extension to the fire hydrant at our request. It's slightly under $2,000 to do this. This will help at the football field. And as I said, this was a request that we made, so we need to approve this. So it's my recommendation that you approve this GCHS change order related to a fire hydrant extension.
Thanks, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Dr. Lamb made a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hart seconded. All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. Item B is approved. Item C is to approve change order for Garrett County High School project, the game clocks.
This change order is just slightly less than $22,000. However, the board will not suffer a cost of that. This has been covered by Dr. Samacar, and we appreciate them doing that. Because that's occurring, we've linked those change orders, but we were going through this process where you're receiving a credit back in order to make sure that this still falls under warranty and is protected in that fashion. So it's my recommendation that you approve this change order related to the game clocks.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the change order.
Okay, Mr. Smith made the motion.
Second.
Mr. Hart seconded. Any comments or questions? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. The change order is approved. Item D is to approve creation of 4 middle school volunteer coaches.
Our middle school is asked to add 2 volleyball coaches, 2 softball coaches. These would be volunteers, but we run it through this process to make sure that they are protected and that we follow all the necessary protocols to ensure that the people who go into these roles have been vetted as they should be. So it's my recommendation that you approve the 4 volunteer coaching positions at GMS.
Thank you, sir. Y'all have heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the creation of volunteer coaches.
Okay, Ms. Davis made the motion. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Dr. Lamb seconded the motion. Any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. Item D is approved. Item E is to approve the draft budget for 24-25.
In January of each year, you get your first look at what a budget might look like for the following school year. Ms. Coffey simply rolls forward the current budget because, as you know, legislative session is underway. It's hard to tell just yet what we will have. So what we're presenting to you tonight is the draft budget for 24-25 that would look very similar to the 23-24 budget at this point in time. In May, you will get a much more detailed look and it will be much more accurate with that. But having said that, it would be my recommendation that you approve this draft 24-25 budget.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the 24-25 draft budget.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Hart seconded. All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. Thank you. All board members were in favor. The draft budget is approved. Item F is to approve School Facilities Construction Commission offer of assistance.
The School Facilities Construction Commission offers some money to the schools on a yearly basis. In order to accept that, there has to be an official action by the board. This year, the offer is for $68,537.20. That would equate to somewhere between $900,000 and $1 million in bonding potential for you. So it's my recommendation that you approve this SFCC offer of assistance.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hart made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Davis seconded. All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor, and certainly we're going to approve that. Item G is to approve a shortened school day for a middle school student.
As most of the community knows, you all meet with me on an individual basis and we talk through the agenda. After we did that on Friday, we became aware of this situation that we needed to address. It's gone through an ARC as it should have, and it has a doctor's approval. So it's my recommendation that you approve a shortened school day for this GMS student.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Dr. Lamb made the motion. Do I have a second? Mr. Smith seconded. All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. The shortened school day is approved. Item H is to approve a memorandum of understanding with JAG for the 24-25 school year for the high school.
We appreciate the opportunities that we have with JAG, and they are ready to go ahead and commit to next year, which is a great deal of funding for us, and we appreciate that. The 2024-2025 memorandum is attached and it's visible right now. Anybody who would like to even take a look at that, it would be my recommendation that you approve this MOU with JAG for the 2024-25 school year at Garrett County High School.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the MOU with JAG. It's a wonderful program.
Yes. And I'm sure the principal approves too, don't you, sir? Thumbs up. Ms. Davis made the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hurd seconded, all in favor, let me know by lifted hand. The memorandum of understanding is approved. Item A is to approve a memorandum of understanding with White House Clinic for the mobile dental service.
So White House Clinic has established a mobile dental bus, and we had hoped to have it here tonight for you to look at, but because of the weather, they made a wise decision of not coming. We will get that here for you to see. This will be a bus that actually comes to our school site, provides services for our students, and that service will be covered either through Medicaid or through insurance if our parents choose to use it. Great opportunity, we think, for students to get service that they might not have available to them at another time, and also to get service without having to leave school campus. So that's an attendance improvement for us as well. So it's my recommendation that you approve this MOU with White House Clinic for mobile dental services for our students.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve this MOU with White House Clinic.
Thank you. Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr.
And I'd
Stevens?
just like to comment, I understand this is gonna serve our middle school and high schoolers when our elementary schools have been started in the previous year, so this is an extension, is that right?
It's an extension. Our elementaries continue to receive service, and we will most likely be able to extend the service with MOU with White House Clinic moving forward. But currently, it's targeting the middle school and the high school.
This is a wonderful opportunity to have all 5 schools to receive services. Very thankful for this opportunity.
Mr. Smith seconded, and, how many times a year will they be? Do you have any idea?
At this point, we haven't established the number. It will probably end up being based on how frequently they're needed
Okay.
and how it fits with any other services that they're providing to other districts as well.
Anybody else have another comment or question? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. And all board members were in favor. The MOU with White House Clinic is approved. Item J is to approve extension of part-time school psychologist by 28 days.
A couple of months ago, you allowed us to create a 100-day position for a part-time school psychologist that was being paid for out of Medicaid. Because of some situations that exist and at no additional cost to you, we need to extend that by 28 days to cover a vacancy that is going to exist. So it's our request that you would approve that. So it's my recommendation as well that you approve the contract extension of the part-time school psychologist position by 28 days.
Thank you, sir. You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Hurd made the motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Dr. Lamb seconded. Any questions? All in favor, let me know by lifted hand. All board members were in favor. The extension is approved. Item K is to approve the school calendar for the 24-25 school year.
Our calendar committee, led by our DPP, Scott Boland, has met and established a calendar for the 24-25 school year, and they've done a draft for 25-26. Tonight, we're only talking about the 24-25 calendar, and one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we shared with you is that there was a series of surveys, or not a series, a survey that went out. And one of the things that people ask is, when you do surveys, do you really listen to us? And what we wanted to make sure that you were aware of is that we are listening to you. And what you see attached right now were the questions that were asked. And the committee took the exact advice of the majority of the people who responded. So when they were asked which date you preferred to have the first official start day, the majority of people said August the 14th. So that's what's in the calendar. And as you work through each of those, you'll see that the calendar committee has met that and adhered to that. I appreciate the committee for doing that. And that we want the public to know that when we do ask, it does matter what they say to us. And so that has been approved. You all have had a chance to see the calendar, and the calendar is linked to this, and it's also now on the screen. It would be my request that you will approve the school calendar for the 24-25 school year.
Mr. Stone?
Yes, sir.
I did make a mistake, but I just saw it, where the calendar flipped over. We're actually, Thanksgiving is a week behind that. It's actually the fourth Thursday, where we just rolled that one over. I just found my mistake, so just so you know.
So we're catching the mistake before,
Yeah.
we have to fix it later.
There you go.
So what we would be asking is that you approve the calendar amended by what Mr. Boland just said, which would change from 2021 and 22 to 27, 28, 29. That's because that's when it really is
My
Thanksgiving.
apologies.
I'll make a motion to approve the calendar with the amended week for Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Dr. Lamb, motion with the amendment. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Ms. Davis seconded. Anybody have anything else? Any other mistakes?
Not that I found yet. I think it's good. I've went over this thing 1,000 times. I'm not sure I missed that one.
I know.
Apologies.
All right, we ready to vote? All in favor? All board members were in favor. The calendar with the amendment is approved. So you won't have to come back now.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of revisions to calendar,
I'll make a-
we need to ask for a revision to our current calendar. And a very similar type of thing occurred with that as well. And I apologize to you that we didn't catch this one a little bit sooner as well. Each year, we have to accommodate the primary elections. And in the calendar last year that we currently have, it shows that we are out on May the 14th. We actually have to be out on May the 21st. So we're asking for you to allow us to revise that. The other thing that we're going to ask for tonight is we have taken tomorrow as a snow day, not as an NTI day, which means we have to make that day up. So we are capable of doing that. We checked with principals, I checked with the DPP, checked with others to make sure that this fits. We currently have March the 15th listed as a staff day. So that means our staff was already preparing to come in. We would like to convert that from a staff day to a student day, and that will cover tomorrow. That way our parents already know what that change is, and we can make both of those modifications at the same time. So it's my recommendation that you approve these two changes to our current calendar so that we can post that as early as tomorrow.
Does everybody understand the changes? You've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve these two changes to the 23-24 calendar.
Thank you. Ms. Davis made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Smith seconded. All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. The change is approved for the 23-24 school calendar. Item M is to approve surplus farm items.
Listed in front of you are those surplus farm items. In order for them to surplus it, we need your blessing to do so. So it's my recommendation that you approve the surplus of these GCHS farm items.
So you've heard the recommendation. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, Mr. Hart made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dr. Lamb seconded. Do you have any questions or comments? All in favor, let me know by lifting hand. All board members were in favor. Item M is approved. Item 6 is adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Mr. Smith made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hart seconded. If you're all in favor, let me know by raising your right hand. And we are adjourned. Thank you all for being here. And those of you that might have joined us virtually, we appreciate you watching and keeping up with what's going on in our school system. Thank you.